There's one thing that's guaranteed in this game of entrepreneurship, especially for those of you who have big ambition like I do. It is that we're going to go through tough times. And so if you're going to go through this journey and you're not going to establish a mental framework to manage the inevitable tough times you're going to go through, then you're essentially going out to sea without preparing your boat for the massive inevitable storms you're going to go through. And over the years, I've been through my fair share of ups and downs and my fair share of tough times. And I feel as though now I have a mental framework that has honestly made the tough times that I go through inevitably much easier to deal with. And in this video, I'm going to share that with you. And if you stick around to the end, my promise to you is I'm going to have you walking away, hopefully, with a way to make your tough times easier to deal with. And not only that, but a mental framework that will take your tough times and use them as your avenue and as a way to catapult yourself forward in your journey. So first thing we need to get out of the way is accepting that tough times are inevitable. If you cannot accept that, then you're not going to actually be able to take on the mental framework I'm going to share with you. If there is a part of you that thinks that your journey in entrepreneurship and in business is just going to be smooth sailing and things will not go wrong, and things going wrong being a bad thing, then you at a foundational level have fundamentally the wrong understanding of how this game works. And if you want to look for evidence that you need to go through pain and suffering and things need to break and things need to tear in order for you to grow, you can literally just look at other areas of your life that, or other areas of nature that can show you that that is just the way the world works and that's just the way life works. And an example could be, thinking about going to the gym. When you go to the gym, you never say to yourself, I plan on getting big and ripped and strong, but I don't plan on pushing myself to failure. You never say to yourself, I plan on building muscle, but I don't expect my muscles to put my muscles under stress, for the muscle to tear, for it to then need to go through recovery. When you go to the gym, you realize that that is just what's going to have to happen in order for you to achieve the dream body that you want, in order for you to, for your muscles to grow. And business and entrepreneurship is no different. It works in the exact same way. And so in the same way that when I go to the gym, I can't wait to feel that pump and I can't wait to push to failure and I can't wait for my arms to just be dead or my chest to just be dead, for me to push. I can't wait for that feeling. If you can take that and establish that exact feeling in business, where when things go wrong, when things begin to break, when you're experiencing tears, stress in your business, you react with, fuck yes, this is good because now I know that on the other side of this is going to be growth. If you can establish that mentality and you can accept it, then you can accept the mental framework that's going to come next. So that is the first thing. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but the tough times are inevitable. In fact, they're actually necessary and you need to accept them. And to give you an example, I know many of you who watch me, some of you watch me, may run brick and mortar businesses or, standard businesses. But I know many of you who watch me actually are in the world of, say, running an agency. And the best example I can give you is, let's imagine you have worked your ass off to sign on a whole bunch of clients and your target of revenue that you want to hit is 20 grand a month. And you've been making momentum, you've been making your calls, you're sending out your emails, creating your content, running your paid ads, whatever it is that you do to get your clients. And you've just been making, generating momentum. And you're now at like 15 grand and you've got your, I don't know, depends on what your retainer is, obviously, let's say 6 or 7 clients paying you 2.5 grand a month, and you're just making them, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm about to hit 20 grand a month. I can't believe this is awesome. This is everything I've worked for. And then out of nowhere, in 1 week, you lose 4 clients. It just so happens that not everyone, but half your clients decide to cancel in 1 week. Now, if you've been in the agency game for long enough, you would have in 100% experienced a situation like that. And in that moment, it's so hard not to react with negativity, right? Because it's so unexpected. And the next time something like this happens, pay attention to yourself, because what will happen is, and this is where most people go wrong, something like that will happen. And the way that you choose to react, or we choose to react, is with, holy shit, what's happening? Like, I thought I was doing everything correct. I don't understand, confusion. And then it starts to get into, if you're not careful, you start to develop really, really bad ways of thinking. You start to go, I just have bad luck. I'm never going to reach that 20K a month mark. What if this happens again? And then you feel negative, you feel sorry for yourself. And so then what will happen is you'll probably stop prospecting. You'll take that attitude to your sales calls, and then your sales will go down, because you'll just be like, what's the point of doing this when I'm just going to lose clients anyways? I'm never going to hit my goals. And then you go down this downward spiral. Now, most of the time when this happens to most business owners, that's the path that they choose to take, and that's why they get into this loop. They get into that loop because they go through that tough time, and not for 1 second do they get excited about it and ask themselves, what am I supposed to learn here? What am I supposed to learn here? So the mental framework that I've taken is, anytime something like that happens, or anytime in my business in my business journey where I'm making progress and things are going well, and then suddenly things just go to shit, or I experience a tough time. I lose a key employee. I lose a key client. I was expecting this thing to work. Even I once lost my entire ad account, and I had someone hack my ad account, and they spent like 10 or 15 grand fraudulently. And then not only did I lose 10 to 15 grand, but my ad account got banned, and I wasn't able to advertise. So I was also losing money because I wasn't acquiring clients. And then when I got the ad account back, the ad account was just messed up, and Facebook wasn't generating the same results that I was prior to my ad account being banned. They almost like blacklisted my ad account to an extent. Even a time like that, you will go through, inevitably. This is inevitable. So when I go through times like that, the mental framework that I have is, as a believer in God, and you can use the word universe if you want. If you don't believe in God, it's up to you. But I believe in God, and so I imagine as though I am on this journey, and the way God communicates to me is by throwing obstacles my way. Because I know that whenever things are going right, I never do anything to improve. It's so hard to learn lessons when you're the winner. Like, if you go to a competition and you compete and you come first, you never ask yourself the question of, what could I have done to win? Like, where's my improvement? Well, where could I have improved? Proper winners probably do, but for the most part, that's how we're programmed. So another example of this is, I've ran ads before, for example, to generate clients or for clients, and we'll have a campaign just absolutely kill it and do well. And clients whose campaigns are doing well, I never go in and figure out, hey, investigate, what are we doing right here? But I can tell you, every time a campaign goes wrong and we're spending money but we're not generating results, we're asking that question every day. Like, what can we do? What are the learning lessons here? So reality is, if we put our intention out there and we say, God, my goal is to reach this level of success, guide me. The way he's going to guide you is going to be through throwing challenges and hoping that you're going to figure out the lesson he wants you to learn within this so you can get to the next level. And so that's my attitude. Whenever something goes wrong, I immediately go, awesome. What is the lesson that God wants me to learn in this? And if you were to take a look at your own life and go back to moments where things have went wrong, I guarantee you can find examples of situations going wrong, but as a result of those things going wrong, they led to you taking a step, an action, doing something that ended up allowing you to take a big step forward. Just have a think about that for a second. I can think of so many moments. When I was 19, I dropped out of uni. I dropped out because I had a private tutoring agency, and we would connect tutors with students. Okay, and I ran that business, and I dropped out of uni for it, and I was doing quite well. And then 3 years in, we had a couple competitors that were in the online tutoring space raised a bunch of money, and they just dominated the Google ad space, and they dominated SEO. It was just impossible to compete with them. And I'm probably making excuses because I know there was a competitor of mine who ended up doing well in selling his agency, and he was undoubtedly a better entrepreneur than I was, for sure. I was constantly looking at him, and he was leading the charge. But I was young at the time, and the business began to fail, and I started to lose a bit of money, and it wasn't going well. And I looked at that as a bad thing happening. But then during that time where I remember I had a week and I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I had this thought, which was, I need to try something else. And then I decided to start looking up at different ways I could potentially make money. Or I think I started paying attention to things because I was in that mind frame. I think I saw a video being like, I make 20 grand a month in my SEO agency. And I'm like, what the hell? I know how to do SEO. I did SEO for my tutoring agency. We were ranked almost on the first page for every keyword, for every subject. If someone typed in Oakley math tutor, Oakley English tutor, Sandringham business management tutor, like every page, we had like 400 pages in multiple cities, and I had built all of them, just copying and pasting to get ranked. And I was like, what, people would pay for you to do this for their business? And then I ended up reaching out to a couple people I knew in business. I said, hey, look, I can help you with your SEO. And then literally 3 months later, I'd started my agency, which was an SEO/web design company. And then a year after that, I made more money in that year in that agency than I had made in the 3 years running my tutoring company. That was the business that got me out of debt, the business that put money in my account, the business that allowed me to buy my car, my dream car, which was an M4, the business that allowed me to start taking care of my parents. It changed my life. But it came on the back of pain. It came on the back of a really challenging time. And that is just one example. And I'm sure you can find an example for yourself. So now, whenever this happens, I don't allow myself to go through this automatic, subconscious cycle of negative thoughts. And it's hard. It's hard. Like I'm saying this, but I still feel the emotion, but I'm saying I try my best to be as conscious as possible about it. I go through it, it happens, I completely forget about this mind frame, and then I go, wait, hold on. What is God hoping that I'm going to learn through this? Like, why has God put this put this challenge in front of me? There has to be something that he wants me to do. There has to be something he wants me to learn. This is the moment that he's given me my next challenge because he's ready for me to get to the next level. I'm about to go through that pain. I'm about to tear. I'm about to push myself to the limit. But on the other side of that is going to be growth. This challenge is not bad. It's good. And when you start looking for the learning lessons inside of these challenges, guess what's going to happen? You're going to find them. And then you're going to learn, and you're going to make adjustments. And then guess what's going to happen after that? You're going to grow. Now, whether or not, this is the key part, whether or not this is objectively true, whether or not it's actually God, or the universe putting the challenges, and I've decided to look at it in a positive way, to then take actions to turn a bad thing into a good thing, whether or not that is what it is, or if it's actually just bad luck and shit happening wrong, it doesn't matter. My reaction to that situation, your reaction, will actually formulate the reality. So in other words, if things went wrong, right? If I had my tutoring agency and it stopped, and then I failed and I gave up on business and I went and got a job, that I would be telling that story saying, yeah, like, I got this competition, this is what happened, I failed, I tried, and it was just bad luck. And that would have been my reality. But because I chose to look for something else and think to myself, maybe it's time I look at another opportunity, now when I look back, that reality is actually, no, I went through that challenge and my business failed so I could take the next step and go into a new business model. God was saying to me, it's time you end this business because you're ready for the next step, right? The funny part about all this, or the part you need to remember is, regardless of whether that's objectively true or not, it will be whatever you choose to make it will be your reality, will be the truth. Truth in this situation is subjective. It's not objective, because things just happen. You know, there is no such thing as good and bad. Things just happen. What you choose to do and how you choose to react dictate whether they're good or bad in your own life. So, mental framework. Next time a challenge happens, or if you're currently going through a challenge, ask yourself, what is the lesson that I'm meant to learn here? And by the way, if you go through a challenge and the challenging time you're going through extends for a while, so you know you're trying things and it's just not working, and it's been like a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 2 years, this is what I want you to accept. You're not actually thinking about this question deep enough. Like, you're trying to fix things, but you actually haven't discovered the learning lesson in this. I promise you. I've had so many moments like this, and I know this to be true. And the people that I admire speak about this, and I wish I had listened to them sooner. I think I've gotten my point across. I hope this helps you. And if you care about me and the YouTube algorithms and this video reaching more people, hit like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.